So today we're going to be reviewing one of my favorite fougere fragrances on the market. And of course I'm talking about Roja Parfums Scandal Parfum Cologne. So let's get right into this review. Hey, what's going on guys? Hunter here and welcome back to my channel. And if you are new, what I do is I make fragrance related content. So if you love fragrances, go and smash the subscribe button down below. But that's right guys, we're gonna be reviewing one of my favorite fougeres in my entire collection and that I've ever got my nose on to this day guys. I absolutely fell in love with this fragrance the moment I got this bottle in hand. And of course it is Scandal Parfum Cologne. Now yeah, if you guys caught my top Parfum Cologne Roja fragrances where I ranked every single one of them, this one actually came in at number 2 in that list. You have to watch that one to see what number 1 was. But yeah, number 2 guys, I absolutely love this stuff and adore it so much. And as of lately, I've been on a fougere barbershop kind of chypre kick. And man, this right here definitely fixed that itch for me guys. Fell in love with it. Love at first sniff pretty much. But let's go over some information about Scandal. Now, I do actually want to mention that Scandal Parfum Cologne was actually sent out for review by Roja Parfums themselves. So thank you to those guys over there. Of course, that would not much persuade my opinion on this fragrance. If I love it, I love it. If I don't, I don't. And I have purchased Roja Parfums in the past with my own money because I love this house. But I do want to be transparent and let you guys know that. So thank you to Roja Parfums. I'll leave their link down below. We'll be able to pick up this fragrance or anything else within their collection. So this fragrance was actually launched in 2019, so fairly new. You can pick up a 100 ml bottle, which is the only size the Parfum Cologne comes in, for $315 retail. So it is pretty expensive, but we'll talk about for the quality of the juice you're getting and stuff like that, if it's worth it or whatnot. Now, the perfumer behind Scandal Parfum Cologne is, of course, the master himself, Roja Dove, as it says right there, fragrance by Roja Dove. He is the in-house and the owner of Roja Parfums, so he creates all of his fragrances, and man, he never disappoints when it comes to his creations, at least that I've tested so far. So yeah, Roja Dove is behind this. So with all the information out of the way, let's go ahead and look at the packaging and presentation you will get with Scandal Parfum Cologne. So with Roja Parfums, you do get a very luxurious packaging as you would expect with that price. Of course, you have Roja Parfums, Roja Dove signature right there. Nothing on the top. And then on the back, you do have your ingredients. This is the 100 ml bottle, like I said, and made in England. So it is a English brand, which is awesome. And to reveal your fragrance, it actually is like you put your hand through here and push it out like a drawer, and your fragrance will sit in this nice kind of velvet material inside there. Very nice, luxurious packaging. Now for the bottle guys, I have to admit, Roja Dove does some of the best looking bottles money can buy. Just look at this thing of beauty right here. This is a work of art in and of itself guys. You of course have the iconic gold Roja Parfums cap with his signature on the top and the front, so you know it is a Roja fragrance. Now this fragrance is nothing inside the cap, but these caps are very heavy guys. Up there with Parfum de Marly as far as the weight goes. Very luxurious. And then on the front, Scandal Parfum Cologne, Roja Parfums. On the bottom, you will find your batch code engraved to authenticate your product and see when it was actually produced, along with your sticker right there. And then on the back, a fragrance by Roja Dove, made in England, of course. Now, I do want to say, I think this bottle is purple because it is a barbershop kind of lavender heavy fragrance. And this has got to be one of my favorite within the Parfum Cologne. It just looks so good on anybody's shelf. In the top, you're going to get lavender, lemon, mint, bergamot, tarragon, petitgrain, and basil. In the middle notes, you're going to get lily of the valley, jasmine, rose de may, and violet. And in the base, you're going to get moss, clove, ambergris, vetiver, patchouli, labdanum, cedar, tonka bean, sandalwood, rhubarb, nutmeg, and cashmere wood. Now that is a lot of notes, and that's usually what happens with Roja Parfums. They all usually have a ton of notes and they're all blended to absolute perfection, guys. So let's go ahead and spray this and test the atomizer. Check this beauty out here. Very nice atomizer, even though it's not pressurized, but it does actually spray a lot of juice, which is always nice. So, oh man, I can smell this beauty in the air already. Let's go ahead and see what I get. So in the opening you're gonna get with Scandal upon initial blast is you're gonna get a ton of lavender, an absolute blast of a nice fresh aromatic lavender in the opening. But alongside the lavender, I get a ton of lemon and mint. So it's very citrusy, very barbershop heavy, and very minty, guys. And all three of those kind of genres are done so good combined together. This is kind of like an old school masculine done kind of in like a modern day way, guys. So it doesn't come across dated by any means. It is old school, but not dated. Does have kind of a modern touch to it. And I believe that's coming from the mintiness alongside the fougere vibe. And you do have a lot of florals in the middle notes. You have jasmine, lily of the valley, rose de mai, which is a very luxurious rose, and of course violet. Now, you do get some of those florals. What I mostly get is the jasmine and the rose de mai are the two florals that I get. And they're definitely pretty prominent. It's a nice kind of earthy, sophisticated jasmine and a very nice kind of red, luscious rose. But just because it has a ton of florals in the middle, trust me, it's not a feminine fragrance by any means. This definitely does lean 100% on the masculine side because, like I said, it is that classic fougere barbershop style masculine fragrance. And I've actually fell in love with Scandal so much since receiving this bottle that I've actually considered making this my signature fragrance. And I still might. I haven't come to a conclusion yet if I should, but it's very high up there to be my signature scent, guys. I absolutely fell in love with this one. Now, to be honest with you guys, the opening is by no means my favorite part of this fragrance. It's absolutely the dry down. Now, as it dries down, you do get a ton of oak moss. It is a little bit spicy from cloves, but what actually stands out a lot to me is a nice earthy, animalic, salty ambergris, guys. And Roja does ambergris second to none. They absolutely perfect the note of the ambergris. And I get a ton of it in Scandal compared to any of the other creations. It's very, very heavy. Now, honestly, the dry down does kind of persuade people away because they don't really like that animalic, earthy, salty kind of touch. But for me, guys, I think it just enlightens this fragrance. It makes it very sophisticated and just very, very well done. To be honest, you actually get to the dry down pretty quick because that opening doesn't last that long. It is a Parfum Cologne, so it does, of course, have that freshness to it. And now, as far as the concentration of Scandal Parfum Cologne, this is where I'm kind of confused. I don't think it's an eau de cologne, and it's not a parfum. So I believe it's actually an eau de parfum, if I'm not mistaken, because I think Roja, in an interview I saw, he said that he wouldn't make anything less than an eau de parfum. So I think that's what it is. I think the naming just means you're going to get the freshness of a cologne, because when you think of colognes, you think of fresh, vibrant, juicy, citrusy fragrances, which you get with this in the opening. And then I think it has the eau de parfum kind of power and strength and longevity. So yeah, don't get that confused. It's not a cologne. It is, I believe, an eau de parfum just with a cologne kind of freshness. And you do get that freshness, like I said, with the lemon. You do get a bergamot and you get that mintiness as well. So it is very, very fresh, very vibrant, and very citrusy. But the top notes is actually short-lived until you get to the middle and the base notes, guys. So the middle and the base notes last pretty much a long, long time with this one. And we'll talk more on performance very soon. Now, this fragrance is not going to be for everyone. It does lean on the more kind of mature masculine side, more gentlemanly, because it is a old school barbershop fougere fragrance. So if you're in like your teens or early 20s, you probably won't really appreciate this fragrance for what it is. You're going to be more into like the soapy blue fragrances, I would assume. This is not that by any means, and it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea at all, guys. You're going to have to appreciate old school masculine fougeres to love this one. And for me, I think they absolutely perfected the fougere with Scandal. And it's unfortunate because this one does not get the hype like Enigma or Elysium gets within this line. And I actually prefer this one over Enigma. Even though that one and Elysium get a ton of hype, I think this deserves just as much hype, if not more, guys, because this is so good. But at the end of the day, I can see why it doesn't, because like I said, it is old school, it is classic, it is masculine, and yeah, it's not gonna be everyone's kind of fragrance or fragrances that they enjoy. It's just very, very sophisticated. Now for seasons, honestly, I think this is very signature worthy and versatile. I think this can be worn all year round, the fall, winter, spring, summer. This one would just work. Now, as far as occasions go though, this one is very, very dressed up, almost like going to a black tie event. It becomes very luxurious. It comes across very sophisticated and very dressed up and more of a professional kind of outing. Instead of casually, do not wear this one with a hoodie. shorts. It just does not go with that kind of setting. It works better when you're dressed up, maybe wearing a suit, a tuxedo, a button up, something like that. It's best suited for it. But at the end of the day, you can wear this whenever you want to wherever you want. Just when I picture this fragrance is definitely with a guy with a suit. Now for the performance of Scandal, guys. This one is one of the best performing ones within the Parfum Cologne. I would say it's about average. It's not a beast mode fragrance by any means. I get about 8 hours of longevity with this one, and it projects very nicely for around 3 hours or so, like an arm's length away. So it's not really anything to complain about, but it's not a beast mode. It's not gonna be like a Black Afghano or something like that interlude, man. Something that just fills up an entire room and is in everyone's face. No, it's not that. It's more closer to the skin, more sophisticated and more professional. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's perfect with this fragrance. For some reason, people like to complain about the performance of the Parfum Colognes, but honestly, guys, I have nothing to complain about with all of them. Even Elysium, which is a citrus, very fresh summer fragrance. People say that fragrance lasts like 30 minutes. No, not my case at all, guys. That one is very complex and lasts pretty much around the same as this, around 8 hours or so. This one is also very complex as well. Just like all the other ones, it's always changing from the top, the middle, and the dry down. This fragrance does not smell the same every single hour. It's always changing, guys. And that's what I love about all the Roja Parfums and Roja Dove himself, man. He just does fragrances so good. And I think he makes some of the best fougères on the market. He also has Danger, which is a fougère with a spicy cumin kick to it, which is very unique and different. And so is Scandal. Scandal is a minty fougère with an animalic, salty ambergris in the dry down, guys. And man, that's just one of my fougères, one of my favorite fragrances in my entire collection. And that's saying something. And if I have 200 bottles, this is definitely one of my favorites. So yeah, that's gonna wrap up my review of Scandal. Let me know down below if you actually tried this one, if you own it, if you're thinking about getting it, or which is your favorite within the Parfum Cologne. I'd love to hear your guys' opinion. But as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you guys haven't already, and I'll catch all you guys in the next upload. Take care, everybody.